If you applied for the PPP loan and got it, be ready to defend yourself in court, criminal court, because federal prosecutors announced last Thursday to Bloomberg News the government changed the rules on PPP loans and decided it would start prosecuting small businesses the government deems defrauded the program. To the amazement of lawyers like me, the rule change makes almost anyone who got a loan a fraudster. And to understand the rule change, let's remember how we got here. A month ago, local, state, and federal governments were urging all business owners to apply for the Payroll Protection Plan loan through the Small Business Administration. So many small businesses did. At that time, the only criteria was you had to swear under oath that COVID-19 pandemic affected your business. Here's the problem. Many not so small businesses took advantage of the program. And when the news media began breaking stories how fancy steakhouses, chain burger joints, and some other not so small businesses were getting millions of dollars in free government money that should have went to actual small businesses, the government decided to change the rule. But in doing so, all the government is doing is creating criminals out of good-intentioned people. What do I mean by that? The big rub is big businesses, they're getting legal advice to give the money back because the government's changing the PPP loan rules. You know who isn't getting that legal advice? Small businesses. That's who the government's going to end up prosecuting if it goes down this path. Actual small business owners are the ones who are going to get swept up in this rule change because they're the ones who can't afford a legal defense team. So they're easy targets for prosecutors. The question becomes, am I crazy? Am I trying to drum up fear? And I want you to understand these types of dysfunctional prosecutions, they're already happening to small business owners. As citizens are taking the guidance from one part of the government only to find out another branch of government or agency doesn't like or disagrees with the guidance, prosecutions are happening. And let me give you a perfect example. A doctor in California, a graduate of SIU Medical School, was charged with mail fraud and other acts of fraud for marketing a COVID-19 cocktail to his patients. What were the operative facts leading to the charge of this doctor? The doctor sent emails to his prospective patients touting information of his belief these over-the-counter medications cure COVID-19. Here's the catch. He was marketing the same drugs President Trump held out as miracle drugs at an official press conference of the White House. The doctor used the head of the federal government's approval, the President of the United States. He did so in his advertising. The doctor is now being prosecuted because it turns out that information is wrong, or at least it is perceived to be wrong by one agency of the government. Interestingly enough, the FBI, who answers directly to the president, created a criminal probe of the doctor who just said what the president said. And the FBI sends an undercover agent to record the doctor. The doctor literally said the same thing President Trump said. The doctor is indicted and is facing 20 years in prison. So how does some doctor in California relate to the PPP loan fraud? Let me bring this home for you. When the PPP loan application was created, small businesses needed to swear under penalty of perjury that the business was impacted by COVID-19. Now, the government is issuing new guidance that the business must exhaust other avenues of liquidity that would enable the business to support ongoing operations. In other words, the business needed to burn through its savings before applying. Otherwise, you're a fraudster. Now do you understand why big business is giving the money back? It's got nothing to do with the kindness of the corporations. It's all about enforcement of the government's rule. Since the government is changing the rules to placate the media and possibly angry constituents, Many small business owners are unknowingly becoming fraudsters because of this rule change. Did the needs of small business change? No. This guidance was not part of the loan application, but the federal government is now changing the rules. So what can we do other than get angry? You're going to hear news stories very soon, just like the doctor in California, maybe even about someone in your community. Before you rush to judgment against your neighbor or the pizza joint in town, remember this video. Remember what I'm telling you. Support real small businesses. And the way you do that in this situation is by letting your government know we aren't going to stand for mom and pop business owners going to jail, well, because they didn't nearly go bankrupt before applying for the relief that the government offered. I want you to write your elected officials demanding a more sensible rule and guidance. Share this message, regardless if you share this video. When you see the government issuing a press conference or a press release and holding these press conferences and touting these press releases about PPP fraudsters, remember how we got here. Small businesses didn't create the problem. The government did.